I'm Louise and my business is Manico PR. I'm a public relations and communications specialist and I really like working with small businesses, social enterprises and charities. I came into doing this job through volunteering actually. When I was doing a degree, I volunteered at the hospital radio station that was across the road and absolutely loved it. It's so much fun. And I enjoyed it so much I decided that I wanted to do it properly. So once I'd finished my degree, I didn't really know what I was going to do with myself. So I decided to do a master's in broadcast journalism so I could learn more about the behind the scenes aspects of broadcasting. From there, I went on to be a reporter at a lot of local radio stations. So I'd go out, interview people, come back, edit what they'd said, write the stories and read the news, which is an absolutely brilliant job, but increasingly more difficult to get into just because there are fewer radio stations around nowadays. And due to that, my radio station got closed. So I went back home and ended up working in the PR team at the Theatre Royal in Plymouth, which was amazing. I got to help do loads of the press for the shows. I would take stars to their interviews. I arranged a flash mob, helped to come up with ideas to market the shows, worked really closely with the marketing team, and it was such good fun. It's a really good environment to work in. And I also really enjoyed the charitable side of the theatre, so the bits where they worked with the community and helped disengaged audiences get involved in theatre and act and do things that they maybe traditionally wouldn't have thought of doing. So eventually, after working at a theatre, I decided to kind of move on to something a bit juicier, if you will. So I moved to a housing association where you're dealing with slightly tougher issues. It's people's housing, it's their lives essentially. During the course of that, obviously dealt with bigger issues, so houses being redeveloped, knocked down and rebuilt, people who had gone to the press with problems about their heating or problems with their homes, trying to make sure residents were well looked after and kept up to date with things that were happening in the area, and promoting all the good work that the Housing Association was doing, which I really, really enjoyed as well. It was a really good team to be a part of and a really wide variety of issues, and definitely taught me some things about the tougher side of PR. From there, I had a little girl and I decided that the 9 to 5 office job wasn't the kind of lifestyle that I wanted. So I made the decision to go freelance, which was really scary. It was basically just down to me, and if things went wrong, I only had myself to blame. You don't have a team around you anymore, and yeah, it can be scary. But on the opposite side, it gives me the flexibility to do what I want when I want. I am hoping that I can grow my business as my little girl grows, and I've got the freedom to work in those areas which I enjoy the most. So, for example, the gas team at the housing association I worked at was absolutely lovely, really clever at what they did. It's not really my life's passion. So now that I'm freelance, I've been able to get more involved with charities. I've joined the board of Plymouth Social Enterprise Network, which is basically helping enterprises that want to do something to improve society, whether that's environmentally or economically or, a whole range of reasons. And I think it's an opportunity that I wouldn't have had I not taken the decision to go freelance. Public relations tends to be a really female-dominated industry, especially for people at lower levels. The senior positions tend to be more male-dominated. So making that decision to kind of become a leader, even though it's only me, is bucking the trend a little bit. But there are lots of female PR people out there, and people kind of expect to see a woman doing it a lot of the time, I would say. However, in moving to a business to business position, which is what I'm in now as a freelance public relations consultant, a lot of businesses are run by men, and a lot of the initial meetings that I had were with older men in suits, and I had to try and combat that stereotype, I guess, to make people realise that I knew what I was doing. I wasn't just a girl who was playing a being a business owner, I'm serious about what I do and I can do it well. There's also a preconception, I think, about public relations, is that it's people that kind of hold champagne launches and do all the fluffy stuff, take photographs and make posters and things like that, which sometimes is a part of the job, but it's definitely not the core of it. My core reason is to help businesses and organizations with their reputation. I want to help them build relationships with the people, either other businesses or the people that use their services. So I can help develop websites and write the content for that. I can help run social media and determine tones of voice, be there in a crisis to make sure the right messages get out. It's not all just fluffy bubbles and putting up balloons or whatever. And so I had to counter that for a start. And also in terms of the stereotypes, I mean, as you can see, I've got rather lovely badger hair going on. And that was also something that people didn't like, some people. I remember one of my very first meetings with someone who was supposed to be a business mentor telling me that I'd need to do something about that if I wanted to be taken seriously as a PR person, which obviously I've paid no attention to. And in the time that I've run my business, I've gotten even more grey. But the people who are worth working with realise that my hair colour really isn't anything to do with how well I can do my job. And I have my suspicions that if I was male, they wouldn't have commented on my hair colour. So although it wasn't overt sexism, I still believe that it was there. I would say for anybody who wants to start a business, be good at what you do and have faith that you're good at what you do. It's really easy to get your confidence knocked when you're out there by yourself, and any knocks that your business takes, it's very easy to take personally. But if you've got that confidence that actually you are good at what you do and you're worth the money that people pay for you, I would say you're most of the way there. And kind of follow your passion. I still love broadcast. I still volunteer with the hospital radio station. I've still got a passion for getting the right information out to the right people. And I think PR really reinforces that. And the fact that I've got that passion for getting the messages out there makes my job so much easier, and I think makes me better at it as well. I'm not doing something that I hate. You do also have to be aware that you need to keep paying the bills. Like I mentioned before, I've got a little girl now, so I need to make sure that we're looked after as a family. And sometimes that pressure is quite a lot. And it means that sometimes you've got to put your passion to the side for a little bit while you earn the money. So as well as doing all the exciting radio jobs and PR and things, in between, I've worked in a call centre, I worked in a bank for a while, I've worked in a department store, just to keep the money coming in, basically, and keep my life running as it should be, which has then given me the means to be able to concentrate on my passion and set up my own business ultimately. For any girls out there who are looking to break into a traditionally male-dominated industry, or will have a lot of male peers in their chosen industry, I would say, kind of like I said before, make sure you're good at what you do and have faith that you're good at what you do. If you can do your job and do it well, your gender shouldn't even come to the question. And if somebody, or if you feel that somebody is biased against you because of your gender, call them out on it. There's no place for those kinds of stereotypes nowadays. And whatever gender you are, if you can do the job, you can do the job, and you shouldn't stand for being held back in that way.